Oh. Hey everyone, it's Hindash. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Timmy, and today's video has been a very highly requested video because it is my signature makeup look, but it's on a darker model, which I'm so happy about. I'm so excited. So here we have the gorgeous Paula, who we became instant friends. Like I do with all my models. I become really good friends with all my models, and I love this look. We do a bit of a red lip take on it because I think it was so universal, and you could kind of add to it, and yeah, just like keep adding to it, and it would look like a different look. All right, so if you want to see how I created this look, then please keep watching, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Hindash, because that's where I post a lot of the looks and updates before they get on YouTube. And of course, subscribe to my channel here if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye. All right, so here we have my beautiful model Paula, who I'm so excited to have on my channel. And as you can tell, we started off with a nude lip, and then we transitioned to a red lip, which is going to be over at my Instagram. And I did an IGTV video doing the red lip tutorial, so check it out there. And as always, I'm going to be starting off with skincare, and to freshen up her skin, I'm starting with the Dominique Cosmetics JD Wady collaboration. This is the Hydrating Fine Mist, which I love. And next I'm going to be taking the Fenty Skin Fat Water Pore Refining Toner, and this kind of just prepares the skin for whatever you're going to put next. And I'm just going to be patting that on the skin and then rubbing it in very gently, just letting it sink in. And taking that down the neck and just patting it in until it's a bit tacky. For my moisturizer, I'm taking the Fenty Skin Hydra Vizor, and this is a sunscreen as well, so I'm going to be a bit generous with this to get that protection. And I'm going to be starting off all over the face and taking it on down the neck as well. And I got a bit scared as I was rubbing this in because it turned really white, but then it became completely invisible and it left the skin very dewy and very moisturized, which I really love. And I could tell that makeup was going to set really beautifully on top of this. For a bit of glow underneath the foundation, I'm taking the Laura Mercier Pure Canvas Primer in Illuminating. And I'm just going to be putting that on the high points of the face, and you can even use much less than I did. I'm just going to be tapping that in. And I forgot to put eye cream, so I'm going in with the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream just underneath the eyes, and then tapping and massaging that in very gently until it's kind of absorbed into the skin. For foundation, I'm taking one of my all-time favorites. This is the NARS Sheer Glow Foundation in the shade Namibia. And I'm going to be applying that on my palette and taking my Ray Morris 27 brush, which everyone asks me about this brush whenever I use it. It is so good. I am going to be starting off with a light layer outside the face and then working it in. And as you guys know, I always love to use very thin layer when I'm working with foundation and building everything up to the center of the face. That way I know what the foundation is doing, and if I need more coverage, I'm going in with concealer and kind of targeting those areas instead of just applying a lot of foundation all over the face. And of course, always taking the foundation down the neck. For concealer, I'm sticking with NARS, and I'm taking the Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shades Hazelnut and Cafe. I start with the darker one, which is Cafe, underneath the eyes and all over the face basically. And if I need to highlight, I'm going to be using Hazelnut. So with a brush, I'm just going to be targeting underneath the eyes, on the center of the face, so down the bridge of the nose, on the forehead, and then chin and jawline. So basically, I'm highlighting with this and concealing at the same time. And this is a trick I love to do on darker skin tones. I kind of like to reverse contour, so using the highlights and using the concealer to really bring out your features and your cheekbones and your bone structure. And then blending and dabbing everything in with a damp beauty blender, just to make sure you have that seamless finish. I'm putting a bit of lip balm on. This is the Fenty Beauty Pro Kisser Luscious Lip Balm. And I'm just applying a very thick, generous layer because I'm going to leave that all the way to the end of the tutorial and letting it sink in. I'm going to be priming her eyes with the Nude Stix Magnetic Matte Eye Color in the shade Chocolate, and this pretty much matches her skin tone. So just applying that from the lash line up to the brow bone, so we have a nice base for eyeshadow. And blending that in with the brush if you need to. And I'm going to be taking a bit of that on the lower lash line as well. I kind of felt like contouring because I got the Fenty Beauty Matchsticks in the shade Caviar, and I was curious to see how it's going to look. So I'm taking that a bit down the nose and on the tip of the nose and working it into the brow, so kind of creating that nice sculpt and nice definition. And taking a tiny bit of it on the cheekbones as well with my brush. So I'm not applying anything crazy. I'm just kind of playing around with it and seeing what it's doing with the skin and how it's kind of contouring her skin. And I thought it would look really nice on the crease as well to give us that pre-eyeshadow definition. For my cream shimmer shade, I'm taking the Nude Stix Magnetic Luminous Eye Color in the shade Rustic Grove. And I'm putting that all over the eyelid. And it's such a beautiful kind of a mauvey burgundy color. And it just really brings light to the eyes, and it's going to act as a perfect base for any shimmer shadow that I'm putting on top. For my eyeshadow work, I'm going to be dipping into the Dominique Cosmetics Latte 2 eyeshadow palette and taking the darker shade and running that into the crease. So this is the warmer color, and I'm just going to be warming up the crease and working it in and just blending it out. So I'm just going to keep blending that in and seeing what it does with the eyes and what I need to add. I'm taking a bit of the yellow in the base shade and putting that underneath the brow bone and kind of blending that warmer brown that I used. But I wanted something a bit warmer, so I'm taking my Natasha Denona Safari palette and dipping into that really warm orangey color for underneath the brow bone to act as a highlight. And just smudging it in and blending it out. Then going back with my warmer color from the Dominique Cosmetics palette, I'm just gonna kind of re-blend the crease in case I lost any of that color. To top off the cream shimmer that I did on the eyes, I'm taking the NARS Stricken Powerchrome Loose Eye Pigment. I've used these before, they're so good. They look like wet skin on the eyes when you use them. So I'm taking this deep bronze shade and I'm putting that on the lid. As you can see, it just really beams with color. For brows, I'm taking the Benefit Goof Proof Brow Pencil in the shade number 6, and I'm just going to be brushing her brows up and then filling them in starting from the tail of the brow, so the ends. And that's where I kind of want the most definition, so I'm kind of making that very crisp and then working my way into the brow. And as I go inwards, I'm just going to be creating really light strokes, and I'm going to be using another brow product to kind of really make that more detailed. But right now, I just want a very light application, and this pencil is going to give me that. So just take your time with your brows. For tiny hair-like strokes, I'm taking the Urban Decay Brow Blade in the shade Dark Drapes. This is one of my all-time favorite products. The kind of inky side on the pen is so good. It creates really tiny strokes and it looks like actual hair. You just have to be a bit patient with this step, but once you kind of figure it out, it's so good. I'm going in with a bit of cream blush. I'm taking the Nude Stix Nudies Matte in the shade Deep Maple, and I'm just putting that on the cheekbones and on the cheek. You can't really tell a lot on camera, but in person I could tell that there is a bit of warmth going on. And I love using cream blushes underneath the powders. So it gives me more of that base for the powder to stick on top of. For powder, I'm taking the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder in the shade Medium Deep, which is one of my all-time favorites. And I'm going to be applying that with a brush. So I don't want a heavy application. I'm going to be setting all the areas where I've highlighted and then kind of just powdering the entire skin with whatever is left on the brush. And that way you don't get that really heavy look. I mean, I could bake on Paula. I think her skin would handle it really well, but I just wanted to go for a softer powder application. For blush, I'm going to be going in with a mix of two blushes. I'm using the Laura Mercier blush in Grapefruit, and I'm taking the NARS Taj Mahal blush, which is a really nice orange. And just blending those in together gives me that really nice warmth, rosy color on Paula. For eyeliner, I'm taking the Wayne Goss The Essential Eye Kohl pencil in the shade Obsidian, which is a black. And I'm going to be going with a very thin liner, but I really want it to swoop out and be kind of dramatic and smoky. So as I do that liner, I'm going to be smudging it in with a brush and blending it out. So as you can see, it really swoops her eyes out. And yes, I am going to be going in with a third eyeshadow palette because I just received this as I was filming the tutorial. So I got really excited and wanted to use it and see how it was. So I am taking the black from the Wayne Goss The Luxury Eye Palette in the shade Imperial Topaz. So just going in with the black and smudging that liner even further and creating kind of a really cat eye shape that's smoked out. And I'm going to be dipping into the bronze color and the black and going in the lower lash line. I'm trying to kind of use as much as I can from this palette to see how it goes. And I've put so much shimmer on the eyes, but it looks good. It gives you that extra dimension. And going in with that rusty red shade, I'm going to be applying that and smudging it on the lower lashes. And I think it looks really beautiful. It gave them a bit of that highlighted pop, which I really like. For mascara, I'm taking the Marc Jacobs at Lash'd mascara and I've applied it on the top of her lashes. And I'm just going in a bit on the lower lashes as well. And Paula has eyelash extensions on, so I'm not going to go too crazy. For lips, I'm going to be taking the MAC Chestnut lip pencil and just lining her lips and filling them in slightly. And if you haven't used MAC Chestnut, if you're a deeper skin tone, you have to. It's such a good lip liner. I really love it. And you can kind of wear darker lipsticks with it, and you can go really nude and just use chestnut on the edge, and it looks perfect. And to fill that in, I'm taking the Laura Mercier Velour Extreme Matte Lipstick in the shade Rock. Now, I didn't know where I was going with the lip. I know I wanted a chocolatey nude, so this is kind of my base, and I want to lighten it up in the center with more of a caramel nude. So I'm just going to be applying that all over the lips and blending it in. And I love this as is, so you can just wear this, which is kind of a very rusty red color. But to lighten it in the center, I'm taking the Pat McGrath Luxe Trans Lipstick in the shade La Beija, and putting that on the center of the lips and kind of creating an ombre lip, but it is a bit subtle, so it's not too intense, and blending that in with a lip brush. I'm going to be bronzing and kind of shaping her face and adding warmth with the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Bronzer in the shade Mocha Mami. So I'm going to be going underneath the blush and on the forehead, on the nose, and on the jawline, so it just adds a bit of that extra warmth. For highlighter, I'm taking the Laura Mercier Face Illuminator in the shade Seduction, and I'm just going to be applying that on the cheekbones and down the bridge of the nose. I'm topping off the blush now that the lip is complete. And again, I'm getting carried away, and I use the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb in the shade Cognac Candy a bit on the eyes, just so I get that really interesting mix of copper with the burgundy underneath and the champagne. And that is the final look with the nude lip, which I love so much, and Paula looks so good. Like I said, I have a red version on my Instagram, on my IGTV, so you can see what I used there and how I got this really nice, bold, intense, velvety red lip. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.